Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you another Pokemon Premier League battle. We are in week 2, and this battle is going to be against Ellie and the Teddington Teddiursas. So, of course we are going to get into our team breakdown for the team that I'm bringing against her team. And of course I will have an annotation somewhere to skip this and go straight to the battle if that is what you are interested in doing. However, there's quite a bit of explaining to do with this team, so I definitely suggest sticking around to watch the team breakdown. And as always, Ellie's team is going to be over there, or the opponent's team, in this case it's Ellie, will be over here, and my team is going to be over here. If I remember and if I'm able to do so in time, I'm going to try and put all of my Pokemon here. That way you can see what I didn't bring as well as what I did bring, and that way you can see my team from week to week in case there are any changes. So there are no changes this week because the transfer windows, like to be able to switch Pokemon, are going to be every 2 weeks. So after week 2, 4, 6, 8, and whatever. So I can't get rid of any Pokemon until after this match. So I have a lot of stuff to get into, but let's just say that I took a different approach to Ellie's team than I did with Ethan's, and only slightly. I'll just say that I started off differently. So let's just get into it. The first thing that strikes me about Ellie's team is Mega Pinsir does a lot to it. A lot. And basically, Return hits a lot of her Pokemon pretty hard, as well as if I get up one Swords Dance, I can 1 or 2 hit KO everything on her team. So the first Pokemon that I am bringing, that we'll go over right there, dang it, right there, is Mega Pinsir. Alright, so Mega Pinsir is an absolute must to bring to this battle because it has the most chance of sweeping, and if I can set it up right, I can definitely sweep with Mega Pinsir. I'm honestly considering starting off the battle with Mega Pinsir and trying to see how early I can sweep, just to see how she reacts, and to just kind of put her on the defensive right away, because I want to be able to control the momentum of this battle the best I can, and that's going to be the name of the game, is just kind of controlling momentum and just making sure that you know, she reacts to me instead of the other way around. So yeah, so Mega Pinsir here is going to be pretty standard Mega Pinsir. Swords Dance, Return, Quick Attack, and Earthquake. Max Attack, max Speed, 4 HPs, Adamant Nature, and basically I want to be able to outspeed basically everything on her team, which I think I do, except for maybe Frostlass and Scarf Darmanitan. Scarf Darmanitan is probably the biggest threat to Mega Pinsir, and if she would lead the battle with Scarf Darmanitan and I would lead with Pinsir, then, you know, I gotta switch my game plan. So we'll see what happens, but Scarf Darmanitan is a pretty big problem when it comes to Mega Pinsir, as well as Doublade can stop it reasonably well. If I do get up a Sword Dance, Earthquake can 2-hit KO. That's why I have Earthquake on Mega Pinsir. Earthquake also one-shots Heat Train if it's not Air Balloon, so that's a good thing. And it just does a whole lot of work to her team. So Mega Pinsir was a clear must. And then let's see, where I went from there was kind of different. I started thinking about, alright, now I need to think that what if I can't, you know, like sweep with Mega Pinsir to start or whatever, which I'm not expecting to, and I don't even know if that's what I'll lead off with. But at this point in time, if I had the battle now, then I would. But I was thinking, like, what if I need to make switches? What do I do next? So, let's just go on to the next Pokemon that I'm bringing, and this is for various reasons why I bring this. But let's say hello to our good buddy Gliscor again. So, Gliscor is Toxic Orb, Poison Heal, Max Attack, Max Defense, 4 HP Impish, with Roost, Aerial Ace, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock. So, this Gliscor is here for a couple reasons. It walls Darmanitan pretty well as being able to hit it back with Earthquake. It can deal with Doublade decently. Earthquake does like 30 something percent. So she could get the chance to set up Swords Dances, things like that. But she can't really do a whole lot of damage to my Gliscor. And so that's that. And it is max attack just to be able to do damage, and I don't need max HP. I don't need anything else. With just having max defense, Impish Nature, I basically can take hits for days. So it's basically all it is. Roost is there for recovery that I didn't have last match, and not that it mattered last match, but it's just good to have recovery because just kind of the way that I'm bringing this team is just pretty much straight up outlast and attack. That's basically what the name of the game is here. I don't really have status moves on my team very much. I don't have a lot of hazards, Stealth Rock being the only one from Gliscor, if I even get a chance to set it up. And yeah, and then Aerial Ace is there for Heracross. I don't expect her to bring Heracross, but just in case she does, Gliscor is easily the best thing to take on Heracross, and Aerial Ace one-shots it. Max attack, Gliscor, Aerial Ace easily one-shots it. So it's not even a question, and I don't know if she would even stay in on anything like that, because like things like Mega Horn and Close Combat do like 20 to 25% to a Gliscor, so it's really nothing. And yeah, there's that. And then rounding up just kind of what's able to take hits on the physical side is is Quagsire. Quagsire is my last line of defense for the physical side of her team, which, to be fair, she doesn't have a whole lot of physical threats. Darmanitan, Doublade, Heracross, and I guess Granbull would be like her only ones. And other than that, everything's special. So I'm not super worried. But Quagsire is here. Quagsire is going to make his debut, and I'm pretty excited about that. And it is max HP, max defense, bold nature, with 4 EVs and special attack, with a Rocky Helmet, unaware, and has Recover, Scald, Earth Power, and Encore. Recover is there for recovery, because I didn't give it leftovers, because I didn't feel like it was necessary. The reason I have it Rocky Helmet is because I want Quagsire to be able to take hits from Darmanitan while making Darmanitan hurt itself, and because Darmanitan doesn't have recovery, it'll just wear it down faster. Same thing with Doublade. Doublade doesn't really have recovery, so I want, if the Doublade does attack, I want Quagsire to be able to switch in Rocky Helmet, damage, and just kind of wear her down in that sense. Quagsire unaware also prevents Doublade from setting up, so keeping Quagsire alive is going to be huge for this match. If she still has things like Doublade around and Quagsire is dead, then that is going to significantly lower my chances of winning, so we don't want that happening. Quagsire is super important to this battle, in my opinion. I want it to wear down things on the physical side and all that good stuff. So let's move on to, let's see, which one should I show off next? Alright, let's move on to what is another threat, and move on to kind of the special side of her team. So, the special side of her team consists of things like Heatran, Mega Venusaur, Milotic, Togekiss, Frostlass, Zebstrika, and Wartortle. I don't really expect her to bring Zebstrika or Wartortle, and if she does, it's no big deal at all. Both of those Pokemon are very easy to take out with what I'm bringing. So, but let's say hello to a friend that we brought last week and actually got the very first kill for the Pittsburgh Pyroar, and that's Kyurem. So, the Kyurem, let's see, Kyurem is here with safety goggles, with pressure, Psychic Roost, Earth Power, and Ice Beam, max HP, max special attack, with a modest nature, and then 4 EVs in defense. So, what this Kyurem is here for is to have a switch into Venusaur. The more obvious switch into Venusaur for me at first was Shaman, because Sleep Powder is a thing, and I'm kind of worried about Sleep Powder. And then Venusaur can just Leech Seed, blah blah blah. However, Shaman doesn't take Sludge Bombs very well, so basically I had to improvise. And at first I was going to bring Jinx to fit this role, but however, Kyurem can just do more damage output and just has better coverage, and I traded a little bit of utility with Jinx to bring Kyurem instead. Safety Goggles, for those of you that don't know, prevents powder moves from working, which means that if I switch into a Sleep Powder, Kyurem's not going to sleep. So that's pretty awesome. And then Psychic does over half, I believe, to Venusaur, because I am max special attack modest Kyurem. Earth Power is good for Heatran. I don't remember off the top of my head if Kyurem can live a hit from Heatran. I feel like it can. Earth Power is one shot easily. It's 4 times a week. There's not an issue there. Ice Beam is just good stab. Can also hit Togekiss pretty decently. But I have a better Togekiss counter than Kyurem, to be fair. So I think that covers Kyurem. And yeah, speaking of Togekiss counter, let's move on to the next Pokemon. And that's going to be Electivire. Electivire is making a return. For such a low draft pick, Electivire is sure making a mark on the team. And I'm going to be trying something interesting with Electivire. Electivire here has Assault Vest with Motor Drive, Thunder Punch, Earthquake, Fire Punch, and Body Slam. Alright, and it has max attack, max speed, Jolly Nature, and then it has 4 EVs and HP. And Electivire is a good switch into Togekiss for like Thunder Wave shenanigans, because Motor Drive. Thunder Punch hits it hard. Earthquake hits Doublade pretty hard, not super duper hard. Fire Punch kind of does the same. Earthquake is also a good idea for Heatran. Let's see. Fire Punch is also good for Frostlass. Assault Vest, Electivire takes on Frostlass pretty well as well, because of I think Shadow Ball from a max attack. Frostlass is like a 3-hit KO on Assault Vest Electivire, and Fire Punch is easily a 2-hit KO. And if I have Stealth Rocks, that might even have a chance to OHKO. I don't remember, but either way, I didn't really have a whole lot for Frostlass, and Electivire is there for kind of Frostlass and Togekiss, as well as to just hit anything that switches in on it pretty hard. And then the last Pokemon that I'm bringing is going to be Shaman. So, Shaman here has leftovers, the only Pokemon with leftovers. I think I actually put a different item on every single one of my Pokemon, so hooray. And Shaman has Aromatherapy, Rest, Leech Seed, and Seed Bomb, max attack, max special defense, 4 HP, and an Adamant Nature. This is another one that I don't really use Shaman very often, but I'm pretty sure this isn't how it's used. And Shaman is here for Milotic. So basically, well, Aromatherapy is good for if anything gets like Sleep Powder that I don't want, or if anything gets like burned that I don't want, or anything like that. Aromatherapy is just good to have because statuses on my Pokemon aren't necessarily the biggest I don't really like. So that's a thing. Rest is here, so Shaman has some form of recovery move. When I was originally going to have Jinx on this team, I did have it with Wish, and because I don't have that with anything on my team, or at least no room for it, I decided to just have Shaman be able to kind of outstall Milotic. Leech Seed. Seed Bomb is with an Adamant, max attack Adamant, I think it's a 2-hit KO on Milotic. It could be 3-hit KO, but I think it's a good chance to 2-hit KO. Whereas Ice Beam from Milotic is a 3-hit KO on my Shaman with max special defense. So I can outlast it, as well as I can rest off any, if I get lower health, I can rest off any statuses like Toxic on Shaman. And because I have Natural Cure, I can just switch out and then bam, sleep's gone, and I can just switch back in and have it do its job again. So, and yeah, so Seed Bomb is there for Milotic, and I don't really have anything. Leech Seed is just good to get off on any Pokemon that switches into Shaman. If I imagine Venusaur may be a pretty good switch into Shaman, so that's a thing. So yeah, goal of this team, sweep with Mega Pinsir, try and keep it alive by switching into other things and kind of just doing chip damage and wearing her team down. That's kind of the plan for the battle. If I had to think of biggest threats for her team against mine, it's just going to be if Doublade really gets the chance to set up and Quagsire's dead. Scarf the Manitan is a problem that I think I'm able to deal with, but again, if things like Gliscor or Quagsire faint, then that's basically GG. And I don't know, anything that I'm just like really not expecting and overlooking, I guess, could throw me off. Destiny Bond from Frostlass. There isn't a whole lot I can do because I think Frostlass outspeeds my whole team. I think. I'm not entirely sure, but that's if it's like back speed and you know, all those calculations. But basically, with Frostlass, I just want to try and get chip damage on it, and then if I'm able to get into Mega Pinsir and quick attack it before it can Destiny Bond, then that's going to be my way out of that. Otherwise, something's dying if Frostlass uses Destiny Bond. Also, Granbull has Intimidate, and so that can slow down a sweep if I do get a Swords Dance up with Mega Pinsir. I don't really know how else to prepare for a Granbull. I know Granbull isn't super bulky on the special side, so I imagine I'll be able to take it out in that way somehow. So I'm not super prepared for a Granbull if that happens. So hopefully she doesn't bring it, but you never know. And yeah, so I did go with some different Pokemon this week, getting to see Shaman and Quagsire's debut. Still a couple Pokemon that haven't gotten their time in the spotlight yet. Don't worry, their time will come. And yeah, so I think that is going to do it for my team breakdown and recap preview. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and let's get into this battle. Alright guys, we are at the battle, and there is a lot of explaining to do. So basically, yeah, I have been wanting to do live comm battles, and I actually did live comm this battle. 20 minutes of it, in fact, until we got a communication error, and basically the battle stopped midway. I had 5 Pokemon, but I didn't have a Mega Pinsir. She had like 4 Pokemon left, and basically we just decided to start over. We decided to go all new. Of course, we had basically seen each other's sets, but because we were both armed with the same knowledge, we figured that it's still fair to just start over and just do however we wanted. And that's why there's a lot of switching in the beginning, which I will get to, things like that. And that's why some of the sets are spoiled for each other. But that is the thing. And I also didn't want to chance doing another long recording, having cut in the middle, and I didn't think that the second time around would have been a good commentary compared to the first time around. So this one is post-com. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future. I don't know if I want to chance live com again, if things like that are going to happen, because it worked fine without like recording while battling. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. But let's actually get into the battle. So I've already gone over my team in the team breakdown. However, Ellie brought Togekiss. Wow, why did I forget what that thing's called? Heatran, Darmanitan, Doublade, Venusaur, and Milotic, which basically means she brought the 6 scariest Pokemon on her team, but she also brought the 6 Pokemon that I had basically been preparing for more than any others. Outside of those 6 Pokemon, I hadn't really planned for anything else. My team is kind of built around these Pokemon, and there's not a whole lot else. The only exception is maybe Frostlass, but I mean, you can't have 7 Pokemon on your team. So this is what she went with, and let's start the battle. So the very first battle, I actually did start out with my Mega Pinsir, and she started out with something else. I don't remember. But this time around, I decided to actually start off with Mega Pinsir again, because I didn't have a great other lead, and I didn't know what she was going to do. And she actually started off with Milotic this time. Also, my Pokemon do have nicknames this time, and that was LeBron James, because LeBron James is MVP and also the most expensive Pokemon in the league. But I switched into Shaman because I know I can eat up any special hits. Also, Scald Burns I could just natural cure off. And I knew I would force a switch here. There's a lot of switching. Oh my goodness, so much switching. So I do believe that I did decide to go for a Leech Seed. and she goes into Togekiss. Now, I did learn from the first battle that Togekiss is Scarfed. It outsped my Mega Pitzer, and that's kind of how it died the first time, but we're not even going to talk about the first battle anymore. Basically, I found out that this Togekiss was Scarfed, and so that's just knowledge that I had. Now, she actually switches out into Darmanitan, as I switch out into, I don't even know, there's so many different plays that I'm not even sure what time I did what, into Kilowatt the Electivire. I was switching into that to take a hit from Togekiss because of Assault Vest. But yeah, so Motor Drive and like Thunder Waving Togekiss never did come, but whatever. So she uses U-Turn, I go into my Rocky Helmet, Quagsire. She does take some recoil damage, it's whatever. A lot of the beginning of the match isn't going to be super exciting, I imagine. I actually just looked down, this is a 45 turn battle. So strap yourselves in, we're in here for a long one. It goes to Venusaur, and of course my Venusaur counter is Kyurem. Ice the Kyurem, I didn't have a better nickname. Blame it on Layson, whatever. And yeah, so she does Mega Evolve because, you know, her Venusaur is a Mega Venusaur, so there's nothing else she can do if she's going to stay in. And I don't even think this Venusaur had Sleep Powder, so I never really even got to show off my safety goggles, which is kind of upsetting, because I could have thrown on like a Life Orb, or yeah, no, not Specs. I could have like thrown on a Life Orb, or you know, or a, I don't know, an Extra Belt or Wise Glasses or something to just boost a little bit more damage, and I didn't because I was scared for the Sleep Powder. But I do go for a Psychic because she doesn't have super great switch-ins, except for this one. Milotic is a fantastic switch-in on any of the hits that Kyurem wants to try and dish out, which I had kind of not thought about. Milotic was a little bit more bulky than I really like prepared for, I guess, but Shaman does take it out pretty well. Bayman the Shaman, again, same deal. Milotic can do whatever it wants to me. I can live Ice Beams. I can live like 3 or 4 Ice Beams. Scald Burns, don't care. I never even got a Scald Burn. And now this play, I thought that it would be a misprediction if I thought she would think that I was going to switch out, and so she would stay in, and that was right. Well, I don't know if I was right on that part, but I was right that she did end up staying in, and so that's why I went for the Seed Bomb there, which was fantastic, because you saw how much damage that did. And of course, see, there's Ice Beam. I think based on that damage, it would probably take 3 to take me out. But it doesn't matter, I have Rest, and she's not going to stay in, I outspeed her. I believe on this turn I do go for a Seed Bomb, because just in case she wanted to sack it off, it would have been really stupid of me to switch out and like take a hit from Milotic and let Milotic recover or something like that. That would have been really bad. So the safe play was just to go for Seed Bomb again, and that's what I did. But she did go into her Venusaur. Whatevs. So I just go right back into Kyurem, and here we go again. Now, she is kind of trying to whittle down my Kyurem, but she does know that I have Roost. So I think she's trying to get like poison damage, Leech Seed up. She wants to kind of outstall from what I could take from this, but basically it's kind of hard. It's kind of having such an evenly matched matchup that this is basically how it turned out. So she did go for the Leech Seed. It's gonna get Leech Seed damage back, and I feel like I probably do just go for the Psychic. But she is at full health. It actually takes 3 Psychics to take her out, especially when you consider Leech Seed, which is annoying. And then there's Giga Drain. However, Giga Drain does absolutely nothing, so that's really not a big deal at all. There's a lot of recovering up, let's be real. So, yeah, recovering, Leech Seeds, there's so much of it in this game. But she does switch out because, you know, stalling is stalling, and because Milotic is a thing, and of course I just go for Psychic again. I forgot how little damage it did before, and I was like, okay, well, yeah. I thought at this point oh no, never mind, she had Leech Seed. I was going to say, I thought at that point I maybe would take it out with another Psychic, but then after the Leech Seed, it's just like, nah, there's no way. And so basically, she has a free turn to recover, and I do believe that is what she does. Yes. And so Milotic is back up to having lots of health. I do feel like on this turn, it's always either a Leech Seed or a Seed Bomb. I always forget the order of which is which, and so many leftovers and things that are here. Bruh. You already know what it is. But she does withdraw, and I do not withdraw. And she actually goes into Mate, the Doublade, which I did Leech Seed. I'm not entirely sure why she went into Doublade. Probably just to try and switch it up a little bit. Because it was getting kind of, you know, circle-y. But it's whatever. I did go for Leech Seed, so now I got a Leech Seed set up on the Doublade. It's no big deal. I do believe that I'd take this time to go into Quagsire, because, you know, I don't want Doublade setting up and sweeping. Duh, Quagsire is named Dirt, by the way, which I don't even know if I mentioned the first time I sent him out. She switches right back out, makes a nice double switch right into Angel the Togekiss. And Quagsire doesn't really match up against Togekiss super well. It does, but it doesn't. And I decided to go into Shaman. I knew I could live in Air Slash, but I thought that she was going to go for Dazzling Gleam, expecting the Electivire switch in. And Dazzling Gleam actually does a lot, even to an Assault Vest Electivire. It does almost half. Or maybe it did do half, I don't remember. I think it was like almost half. So that's why I went into Shaman. I did choice her into that, because I did know that she was choiced. And she goes into Darmanitan. However, I switched out on that, because I knew that she was going to be forced to switch into LeBron James. Now, I didn't know that she was going to switch into Darmanitan, obviously, so I was like, nope, let me get right back out and switch right back into Derp. So, if you can tell just how much switching was going on by this point, I think you can see that we were both just trying our absolute hardest to try and get some sort of advantage, some sort of leg up, something to switch into to give either one of us the momentum. There wasn't a lot. There was just a lot of momentum switches and stalls, and I can't do anything to that, they can't do anything to this, blah blah blah. And I go right back into Electivire, because I thought she might try and do Air Slash, predicting the Shaman switch in, which I was right again. And Air Slash does absolutely nothing to Electivire, 30 damage, absolutely nothing. And I did know that it was going to do so little damage, so I did decide that the best move was to go for Thunder Punch. Nothing takes a Thunder Punch super well, except for Venusaur, and the Doublade does take it well. However, I do get the Paralyzation on the Doublade. I did consider going for Earthquake, but I calced it and it does like 30%. So I decided to switch right into Quagsire, but she switched out again. And this time, it's back into the Togekiss, and now we see this matchup again. And this matchup will be important later on in the match. Hashtag spoilers, but not really though. And I take this time to go into Gliscor. The reason I do this is because I was like, hey, she's switching into Togekiss a lot. I should get Stealth Rocks up. Now, I was hoping that, I believe it was Dazzling Gleam that did less than half. I was hoping she would go for Dazzling Gleam, and then I would be able to do that, whatever. So, yeah. I should have been, you know, ballsy. I should have went for Stealth Rock there, but I didn't, because she did switch out. She knew I was forced to switch out. But, unfortunately for her, it is the Electivire versus the Milotic, which is not good for her. Now, I could have switched out because Scald Burns are a thing, but I decided to say YOLO. Thunder Punch almost takes her out. Of course, I knew it wasn't going to take her out at that range. I was risking taking one Scald, and no Scald Burn for me. I got pretty lucky with Scald Burns this match. I didn't get burned by a Scald at all, so that's a good thing. And she goes right back into Mate when I go for the Earthquake. I went for the Earthquake because I felt like that was the safest play. I thought it would do more damage to a Venusaur switch in, but it still hits Doublade pretty well. Now, another Earthquake is not going to quite take it out. So what I was going to do was I was going to use this time to send out Gliscor. And, I think I used this time to set up Stealth Rocks because I didn't do it the first time. If I would have done it the first time, I could have used this time to use Roost and heal up. Because I really needed some health on this thing. And, I don't even know. I don't even know why I stayed in, to be fair. Why did I even stay in? Because I couldn't, I don't even know. Or was that the turn I used Stealth Rock? Okay, that's what it was. My bad. I got my turns mixed up. Use Giga Drain while I stayed in. I didn't want to stay in. I did want to Roost, but Roost takes away Flying type. Giga Drain would have one shot. So I take this time to go into LeBron James. Now, I was calcing, and I should have done this earlier. Adamant 252 max attack return has a 75% chance to Oko a Mega Venusaur, just straight up, no Sword Stances or anything. So I go for the return, and I do that damage. And after being very, very, very confused, I was like, no, that has to be wrong. Something's wrong. So I go for a turn again, and it's like, it's not doing anything. Why isn't it doing anything? Well, good job me. Didn't gen any happiness onto my Mega Pinsir. So I had like, I don't know, whatever base happiness is, or like regular happiness is, that's what the Mega Pinsir has, and so return did basically nothing. And knowing that, I switched out, even though I think a quick attack might have killed from that range. I don't know why I switched out, but I did switch out, and I go for Psychic, and that's actually the end of Mega Venusaur. So I did get one good thing out of it, and Kyurem does pick up another kill. It's first kill for this battle, second for the season, which is fantastic. Now that the Kyurem has gotten rid of the Mega Venusaur, its job is done. I didn't need it for anything else, so I was like, I'm going to do as much as I can with this thing. And I go for a Psychic to break the air balloon, because then I knew I could use things like Earthquake from Electivire to take it out later. However, I think she probably expects me, oh, I don't know, she did use Taunt because I did try to go for Roost. I didn't know she had any Fire-type move. Here, she's Fire Blast and misses, Earth Power takes it out. That was huge, kind of. It was huge only in a sense of, that could have killed Kyurem, and she could have had a Heatran alive, very much alive, for more of the battle. But that didn't end up happening, and I did get to stay in, which was fantastic. However, there's the Dazzling Gleam. I was like, go ahead, take out Kyurem, because it already had done its job. And so she gets her first kill. Then I go into Shaman, because Shaman can take a Dazzling Gleam very well. And so I knew that she would have to switch out. So I was like, alright. She switches in to Doublade. I do believe I go for Leech Seed. Right? I do go for Leech Seed. And, yeah. Because I knew she had to switch out. Leech Seeds, and she doesn't have Venusaur anymore, which means I can Leech Seed anything I want now. Which is amazing. And because of Leech Seed damage, I was just like, oh, she's got like no health in that Doublade now. I could probably take her out with a Seed Bomb. I'm adamant max attack Shaman, right? So I go for Seed Bomb, and look at that. It does nothing. And she lives it. However, I don't know what she was going to do, but she did get paralyzed. I don't know if whatever move she used was going to do a lot of damage or not. Possibly. I mean, it probably wouldn't take me out or anything, but still would have been scary. And Leech Seed takes it out. So that's kind of the second time that hacks kind of helped me. First, the Fire Blast miss on Kyurem, and second, the paralyzation. I don't know if this one helped me as much, but there's other things that helped me along the way as well. So Angel comes back in, the Togekiss. I knew I could live one Air Slash, so I was like, do it. Go for it. And I flinched and couldn't move. I don't remember what I was going to go for that turn. I think I was going to try and set up Leech Seed, but that didn't happen. So unfortunately, I do have to switch out. However, now that I know she's locked into Air Slash, I do know that Electivire can take it very well. And even after Stealth Rock, I can take 2 Air Slashes if I get the right roll. Because if you see, I have 63. Now I have 36. That is, what's that? That's like 28 damage or something like that. It's like less than 32. So I decided to stay in because when I switch back in on Stealth Rocks, it's going to be a bad time for me. Especially with that on top of any attacking moves done. So I went for Thunder Punch to try and do as much damage to the Togekiss, because I knew that there was a good chance of me living another Air Slash. But she does switch into Milotic. Thunder Punch takes that out instead. And now she goes into Darmanitan, and I was like, there's no point in switching out. Might as well just let Electivire die here. It's GG, because Electivire would have died later eventually anyway. And, yeah, so she goes back into Darmanitan, and I do believe this is the end of the battle here. Now, I had done a calc seeing which of my Pokemon had the best chance, and Quagsire was the one. Quagsire had a good chance of living from what I calced. However, she was max attack, blah, 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 all that good stuff. There was a chance she could have taken me out with an Air Slash, but there was also a chance that I could live. However, instead, she decides to use Trick. I get a Choice Scarf, even though I was attacking anyway, and I use Scald to take out the Togekiss. There's so many different things that could have happened to the end of this battle, because if I would have lived, basically the same outcome probably would have happened, because I think her Darmanitan is Choice anyway. So if she would have choiced herself into Earthquake like this time, then Glasgow would have came in and been able to use Earthquake himself. If she would have choiced herself into, I think she said like Rock Slide or something, like that probably wouldn't have killed Quagsire, and even Shaman could have probably lived one. So there's so many different factors as to how the end of the battle could have gone, but as it stands, I got choiced with a choice scarf, even though I was going for an attacking move anyway, and that's it. I got a 4-0 victory, and like I said, there's so many different ways that battle could have went. You know, that Quagsire dies, and she could have basically swept my team. She would have basically swept my team, and yeah, so that's a really close 4-0 victory. It's a really well played match on both sides. I'm very interested to see how things would have turned out had the first match finished. I'm also interested to see how things would have turned out had I actually put freaking max happiness on my freaking pincer, because then Venusaur wouldn't have even been a problem for as long as it was. And yeah, so there's so many different things to consider, but that was GG. That was a fantastic game, and honestly, at this point, I'm just happy that I have a win in the PPL. I was kind of scared that I would be like bottom of the league. I'd be the one person without a single win for the entire length of the league. I would have 11 matches and lose every single one. Like, I didn't want that, and now that won't happen because I do have a win. I can lose all the rest of the battles, and I still have a win, and that's still kind of important to me. The fact that I can say, hey, I beat somebody, regardless as to how it happened or as to how it did turn out. That was a fair play on both sides, and yeah, things could have been different. Things could have been the same. There's so many different things that could have changed, and it's, you know, who knows what could happen. That's just how it is with Pokemon, unpredictability, and you know, you live with your choices, and just, you know, you just never know how things play out. So that is gonna wrap it up for this match. Next week, oh my goodness, don't get me started on next week. We play freaking Fredford and the Borussia Doublade. Don't get me started on that. Basically, I don't even want to think about it. But that's who we play next week, and so yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap it up. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you check out all the other battles in week 2 of the PPL, as well as things that are happening on the PPL channel, which that will be in the description below, as well as the Twitter and things like that. So thanks for watching, guys. Go ahead and leave a like, show your support, leave a comment on your thoughts on the battle, and that's gonna wrap it up. So thanks for everything, and until the next time, guys, stay sly.